Welcome to Tungal Online Classes. In the last topic, we discussed about the introduction of moving charges and magnetism. Moving charges and magnetism. So there we discussed Oersted principle. According to the Oersted principle, whenever a current is flowing through the straight current carrying conducting wire, magnetic field will be developed. Magnetic field will be developed around the straight current carrying conductor, and the magnetic field lines are also formed in the form of the concentric circular loops. That's what we discussed in the last lecture. Now, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about source and field. We are going to discuss about what? Source and field. What is the meaning of the source? Before going to discuss about the source of the magnetic field, once again we will recall about the source of the electric field. So first we have to discuss about what? Source of electric field. Already we discussed in the last lecture also. If you consider the stationary charged particles, these stationary charged particles are producing the electric field around 8. So what is the source of the electric field is? The source of the electric field is a what? Stationary charges. When you consider the stationary charges, these stationary charges are producing the electric field. So for that, I consider QB any one of the stationary charge. What the stationary charge was considered? Capital QB, any one of the stationary charge which was kept at a particular point in the space. Whenever we are placing the stationary charge at a particular point in the space, around the charge, what will be developed? Around the charge, electric field will be developed. This is also we discussed in the last lecture. Okay. When we producing the electric field around the particular charge, now we are going to discuss the once we are placing the stationary charge at a particular point in the space, around the charge electric field will be developed. Once the electric field will be developed, I want to know what is the strength of the electric field. At a particular point. This is also we know in the previous topic, that is electric field and charges. So at a point O, I am placing the stationary charge capital Q. At a point O, how much charge we are placing? Capital Q amount of charge was placed. Due to this capital Q amount of the charge, electric field will be developed. So I consider another point P, which is a distance of small r from the stationary charge capital Q. So what charge I was considered here? I consider the charge capital Q. Due to the capital Q amount of the charge, electric field will be developed. I want to know the field strength of the electric field at a particular point in this region. So for that purpose, I consider a point P which is placed at a distance of small r from the stationary charge capital Q. So at the point P, the electric field strength will be given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. At a point P, what is the magnitude of the electric field strength? The magnitude of the electric field strength at the given point P, which is a placed at a distance of small r from the stationary charge capital Q, will be given by EP is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square, which will be giving only the magnitude of the field strength. But what we know? We know that electric field intensity is a vector quantity. If you are specifying that electric field intensity is a vector quantity, it is having both magnitude as well as the direction. So that the electric field intensity will be represented in the vector notation, as EP bar is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. EP bar is equal to what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. This term is indicating the magnitude of the electric field, and its direction will be given by its direction will be given by r cap. What is the r cap? R cap is a unit vector. R cap is the unit vector which is along the direction of the position vector, which is along the direction of the position vector. So for which purpose we are using the r cap? To know the direction of the electric field. So here if you observe this equation, electric field is a function of the position vector. Electric field is a what? Function of the position vector. So that I will represent the electric field as E of r bar. E of r bar. So E of r bar is denoting that electric field intensity is a function of the position vector. Whenever the position vector value will be changes, the magnitude of the electric field intensity is also changes. So here, for producing the electric field, first which charge we consider here? Stationary charges are considered. By the stationary charge, electric field is produced. Then I want to know how much magnitude will be existing at a particular point. That also I find the magnitude of the electric field is equal to what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square. But the electric field intensity is a vector quantity. That's why the electric field intensity will be represented in the vector notation by E bar is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square into r cap, where r cap is indicating what? R cap is indicating the position vector which is represented along the direction of the r bar. From this equation what we wrote? E of r bar. E of r bar is nothing but electric field is a function of position vector. That means whenever r value will be changes, electric field intensity value is also changes. That is represented by E of r bar. Now into this electric field, if any another charged particle was entered into this electric field region, if any another charged particle will be entered on that charged particle, this electric field will be exerting the electrostatic force. Once again, whenever another charged particle was entered into the electric field, by the electric field over that charged particle, some electrostatic force will be acting. That amount of electrostatic force, F electric, is given by E bar into Q. F electric is given by what? E bar into Q, where E bar is indicating the electric field intensity and Q is indicating what? The magnitude of the charged particle which was entered into the given electric field region. Okay, now here the electric field is produced by whom? The electric field is produced by the stationary charged particle. While we are discussing in the electric field and charges, we told each and every charged particle will be producing its own electric field. Once again I repeating, if you take only one charged particle, that charged particle will be creating its own electric field. If two charges are placed, 2 electric fields are there. If 10 charges are there, they will be producing 10 individual electric fields. At that time, I want to calculate the net electric field intensity. When you calculate the net electric field intensity, if 2 or more number of electric fields are existing simultaneously, at that time, to know the resultant electric field intensity value, we have to follow the principle of superposition method. What is meant by principle of superposition method? The net electric field intensity in a given region, is equal to the vector sum of the individual electric fields. That is nothing but principle of superposition method. So whenever in a given region, two or more electric fields are existed. Two or more electric fields are existed at that time by using the principle of superposition. By using the principle of superposition, we have to calculate the net electric field intensity. The net electric field intensity will be given by E1 bar plus E2 bar plus E3 bar plus and so on. How many number of electric fields are existing in that region? That number of electric fields will be taken and all those electric field intensities are added vectorially. That resultant is giving the net electric field intensity. This is what we have to calculate. Electric field by the stationary charge, force acting on the stationary charge, and resultant electric field due to the multiple number of the electric fields. So similar to the electric field, how the magnetic field will be produced? What is the source of the magnetic field? So here the source of the magnetic field is moving charges. The source of the magnetic field is whom here? Moving charges. Whereas in the case of the electric field, the source of the electric field is whom? Stationary charges. In the case of the electric field is produced by whom? Stationary charged particles. But in this case, the magnetic field is produced by the moving charges. There is so many number of similarities are there between the electric field as well as the magnetic field. So here also charged particles are producing electric field. Thus whatever it may be, either stationary charge or moving charges. Here who are creating the electric field as well as the magnetic field? Charged particles are producing the electric field as well as the magnetic field. So here I consider stationary charge. That stationary charge will be producing the electric field, whereas here the moving charges are producing the magnetic field. So this is the first point in the source of the magnetic field. Next, coming to here, the electric field you written in the function of the position vector. So you wrote there E suffix E of R bar. That means what? The electric field intensity is a function of the position vector. That means if the position vector value will be changes, the magnitude of the electric field is also to be changes. Similar to the electric field, magnetic field is also represented by B of R bar. What is meant by B of R bar? The magnetic field is also varies with respect to the position vector. That the derivations later on we will discuss. Suppose I consider a straight current carrying conducting wire. So in that current carrying conducting wire, the amount of the current flows is what? I. Due to this current carrying conducting wire at a point P, which is at a distance of small r, the magnetic field intensity will be given by mu naught I by 2 pi r. B is equal to what? Mu naught I by 2 pi r. If you see here, for a given amount of the current, B will be varies with respect to the small r. For that purpose only we wrote here B of R bar means whenever the R value will be changes, the magnitude of the magnetic field is also changes. That's why we wrote that similar to the electric field, the magnetic field is also represented as a function of the position vector. Next one is coming to here. So once the electric field is produced by the stationary charges, into that electric field, if any another charged particles are came, that electric field will be exerting the electrostatic force. Similar to that, whatever the magnetic field is created by the moving charges, into that magnetic field region, if any another charged particles are came, another charged particles are came over these charged particles also, the corresponding magnetic field will be exerting an external force, Once again I repeating, whenever another charged particles are entered into the electric field, the electric field itself will be exerting some electrostatic force. Similar to that, whenever the charges are entered into the magnetic field, which is produced by the moving charges, the magnetic field itself will exert some external force over those charges which are entered into that region, And the next point is, coming to the last point. What is the last point you wrote? Whenever in a given region, two or more number of electric fields are there, at that time, to find the resultant magnitude, which principle you applied there? Principle of superposition. By using the principle of superposition, we have to calculate the resultant electric field intensity due to the multiple electric fields. Similar to that, in the case of the magnetic field also, in a given region, two or more number of magnetic fields are acting simultaneously. In a given region, if two or more number of magnetic fields are acting simultaneously, by using the principle of superposition, we have to calculate resultant magnetic field. The resultant magnetic field can be written as B1 bar plus B2 bar plus B3 bar and so on. Here also we have to add all the magnetic field intensities bivectorially only. How can we get the resultant magnetic field? In a given region, if two or more number of magnetic fields are acting simultaneously, by using the principle of superposition, we add all these individual magnetic fields vectorially. That is, resultant will be giving the resultant magnetic field in that region by using the principle of superposition. So this is about source and the magnetic field. So here we discuss what is the source of the electric field, how the electric field is produced. Once the electric field is produced, how it will be exerting the force. If more number of fields are there, how can we calculate the resultant electric field intensity? Similarly, we also discuss what is the source of the magnetic field. Once magnetic field will be existed, that magnetic field will be depends upon which function, which physical quantity, and how it was exerting the force. And if more number of fields are there, how can we get resultant magnetic field? By using the principle of superposition. This is about source and magnetic field. The next topic is force on the moving charge in magnetic field. Just now only we told, once the magnetic field will be existed, once the magnetic field is formed by the moving charges, into that region, if any another charged particle was entered over that charged particle, by this field some external force will be acting. So here we will assume that the magnetic field is produced by the moving charges. Magnetic field is produced by whom? Moving charges. So initially we are assuming that in a given region, magnetic field is produced by the moving charges. Into that magnetic field region, a charged particle was entered. Into that magnetic field region, which particle was entered? A charged particle was entered. So the charged particle will be entered into the magnetic field is nothing but whatever the charged particle we are assuming that charged particle will be already in the motion. That means which type of charge we consider here? A moving charge will be entered into the region of the magnetic field. So here we assume that the charge present on the charged particle is equal to small q. The charge present on the charged particle is equal to what? Small q. And the velocity of the charged particle will be assuming as a v bar. So into the magnetic field which is produced by the moving charges, what we assume, a charged particle will be entered which is having a charge of small q, as well as it is also in the motion, so that its velocity will be represented by v bar. Then the amount of the magnetic force acting on the charged particle will be given by the amount of the magnetic force which is acting on the charged particle will be given by the relation F bar is equal to q into v bar cross b bar. Q into what? V bar cross b bar. Already we know about a cross product of the vectors. Suppose C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar means if a C bar is the resultant vector of A bar comma B bar, so according to the cross product of the two vectors, if the third vector C bar can be written as C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar, how can we write? So C bar is a perpendicular to A bar. C bar is also perpendicular to B bar. C bar is a perpendicular to what? A bar, as well as C bar is also perpendicular to what? B bar. Similarly, here F bar is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar means. So what we will write here? The force acting on the charged particle is always perpendicular to V bar and also perpendicular to B bar. So from that cross product, what we will tell? The force acting on the charged particle is always perpendicular to the V bar, is also perpendicular to the B bar. Once again, if you come to here, C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar means one more thing we have to tell, that the direction of the C bar is always perpendicular to the plane, in which vector A bar comma B bar will be present. So this is already we studied in the first years. The direction of the C bar is always perpendicular to the plane in which the vectors A bar comma B bar will be present. Here also F bar is a perpendicular to V bar and again F bar is a perpendicular to B bar means. So what we will write, that F bar is perpendicular to the plane. F bar is a what? Perpendicular to the plane in which V bar comma B bar are present. So F bar is equal to Q into V bar plus B bar means what? F bar is a perpendicular to V bar and again F bar is a perpendicular to B bar. The meaning of that is what? F bar is always a perpendicular to the plane. F bar is always a perpendicular to the plane in which V bar comma B bar will be present. This is from the vector cross product principle we are saying. Now, so I consider one plane in which V bar comma B bar will be present. Suppose I am assuming that this plane is nothing but XY plane. So which plane I was considered here? XY plane will be considered. In that XY plane, I assumed that the vector V bar comma B bar will be present. So here I am taking this is a vector V bar and this is a vector B bar. So if two vectors will be placed in the given plane, between the two given vectors, some angle will be existed. So which type of plane we consider here? XY plane will be considered. In that XY plane, I consider the two given vectors V bar comma B bar. Whenever any two vectors will be placed in the given plane, so between those two vector quantities, some angle should be existing. That angle will be assuming as a what? Theta. Now, according to this statement, F bar is a perpendicular to the plane. Here, which type of plane you consider? XY plane is a consider. That means F bar is a perpendicular to the XY plane. So perpendicular to the XY plane is nothing but which axis? Z axis. So this is a XY plane. For the given XY plane, Z axis only the perpendicular. So that whatever the force acting on the charged particle will be represented along the Z axis, whenever whatever the velocity vector V bar comma B bar will be placed in the XY plane only. And moreover, 2 points we have to discuss. What we wrote here, F bar is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. F bar is equal to what? Q into V bar cross B bar. So here what I told, whenever the V bar comma B bar will be placed in the XY plane, the force is acting along the positive Z axis. It will be happens when the charged particle will be positive. If a Q is a positive, the force will be acting along the positive Z axis. If the charge will be the positive charge, the direction of the force according to this diagram will be along the what? Positive Z axis. If a Q will be negative, F bar becomes to what? Minus Q into V bar cross B bar. If the charge, whatever we assume that will be the negative charge, if a Q value will be the negative charge, the direction of the force was reverse. There is no change in the magnitude. But the direction of the force will be reverse. Previously, the force is acting along which direction? Positive Z axis. When we assume the charged particle will be the positive charge. If you assume whatever the charge will be considered Q, that should be the negative, the force will be X, F bar will be acting along negative Z axis. F bar will be acting along which axis? Negative Z axis. Here the direction is a very important. Whatever the direction we are getting from the cross product of the two given vectors, whenever the charge is a positive, force is acting along the positive Z axis. Whenever the charge will be the negative, the force will be acting along the negative Z axis. This is the expression for the amount of the force experienced by the magnetic field over the charged particles whenever they will be entered into the corresponding magnetic field. Once again, see here what we assume here. We assume the magnetic field is produced by which type of charges? Moving charges. Once the magnetic field is produced by the moving charges into that region, into that magnetic field, we assume that a charged particle will be entered. So whenever the charged particle will be entered into the magnetic field, over that charged particle by the magnetic field, some external force will be X. The force will be given by F bar is equal to what? Q into V bar cross B bar. From the cross product definition, we are saying that the direction of the F bar is always perpendicular to the plane in which V bar comma B bar will be contained. And for getting the direction of the F bar, one more thing is very important, that is the nature of the charge. If a Q will be positive, Q will be positive, the force is acting along the positive z axis. If Q will be negative, the same force will be acting along the negative z axis, but there was no change in magnitude. There was no change in magnitude. So that is about force acting on the charged particle whenever they were entered into the magnetic field. Now, what we wrote previously, the force acting on the charged particle by the magnetic field is given by F bar is equal to what we wrote here. F bar is equal to Q into V bar across B bar. So this is the vector notation of the force which is acting on the charged particle, Already we told in the previous diagram, whenever two vectors will be represented in the given plane, some angle will be existing between the two given vectors that we taken by the theta there. So here this can be written as F is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar is equal to VB sin theta. V bar cross B bar is equal to what? VB sin theta. That is the definition of the cross product. A bar cross B bar is equal to what? AB sin theta. So V bar cross B bar value is equal to what? VB sin theta. Therefore, F is equal to what? Which is giving what? Magnitude of the force only. Now, case 1. Theta is equal to 0 degrees. So what was the angle value M was taken? Theta is equal to what? 0. What is the theta actually? Theta is nothing but the angle between the V bar and B bar. So theta is equal to 0 means what? The velocity vector V bar is parallel to the B bar. If theta is equal to 0 means what? V bar comma B bar are the two vectors which are parallel to each other, or they will be acting along the same line. Either they will be parallel to each other or V bar comma B bar will be acting along the same line. So what about the force we will discuss here? So F is equal to, we know the formula BQV sin theta. F is equal to what we know the formula? BQV sin theta. Substitute the value of theta here. So BQV into this value is equal to what? 0. Sin 0 is equal to what? 0. That means F is equal to 0. F is equal to what? 0. F is equal to 0 means what? What is the F? F denotes the force acting on the charged particle. The force acting on the charged particle, here you get F is equal to 0 means what? Whenever a charged particle will be entered into the region of the magnetic field, along its direction or parallel to its direction, in this case the charged particle does not experience any force. Whenever it is entered either parallel to the magnetic field or in the direction of the magnetic field, it does not experience any magnetic force. Second case, I assume V is equal to 0. V is equal to 0. What is the V? V is indicating the velocity of the charged particle. Here you wrote force on the moving charge. Whenever the charged particle will be in the motion, the velocity is not is equal to 0. Velocity is what? Not is equal to 0. If you take V is equal to 0 means what? The nature of the charge is stationary charge. The nature of the charge is a what? Stationary charge. The charge is in the state of the rest. So whenever the charge is in the state of the rest, V value is equal to 0. Now we will see what about the force. F is equal to what we know the formula? F is equal to, we know the formula, BQV sin theta. F is equal to what is the formula? BQV sin theta. So, if you place 0 in the place of V, again you are getting F is equal to 0. F is equal to what? 0. So, from case 1 comma case 2, we understood that either the charged particle will be entered parallel to the magnetic field, or if the nature of the charge is a what? Stationary charge. In these two cases, the charged particle does not experience any magnetic force, And case 3, if theta is equal to 90 degrees, if theta is equal to what? 90 degrees. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, sin 90 is equal to 1. Sin 90 is equal to what? 1. Now, we will see. If theta is equal to 90 means what? If theta is equal to what? 90 means what? What is the theta? Theta is the angle between the V bar comma B bar. Theta is equal to 90 degrees means V bar is a perpendicular to the B bar. V bar is a what? Perpendicular to the B bar. V bar is a perpendicular to the B bar means what? So, the direction of the motion of the charged particle is, direction of motion of the charged particle is perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. So, V bar is a perpendicular to the B bar means what? How the charged particle was entered into the magnetic field means what? If the charged particle will be entered, perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field, in this case, the charged particle experiences, maximum force. We will see how. F is equal to what we know the formula? F is equal to BQV sin theta. F is equal to what? BQV sin theta. If sin theta value is equal to 1, so the force becomes to what? Maximum. F maximum is equal to what? BQV. Very, very important formula. When the charged particle will be experienced, the maximum force means when the charged particle will be entered into the magnetic field, whose direction is perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. In this case, it will experiences the maximum force. F max formula is equal to what? BQV. The next topic is Lorentz force. Next topic is the what? Lorentz force. What is meant by Lorentz force? Before going to this, once again we will discuss about the nature of the charge, the properties of the charge. Already we told, whenever you consider a charged particle, the nature of the charge is producing the electric field. What is the nature of the charge? It will be producing the electric field. Suppose if you consider the stationary charged particle, the stationary charged particle will be producing only the electric field. Stationary charged particles are producing what? They must be producing the electric field only. Which type of charges? Stationary charged particles are always producing the stationary electric field only. Suppose if you consider the moving charges, these moving charged particles will be producing these moving charged particles will be producing both the electric field as well as the magnetic field. Once again, when you consider only the stationary charged particles, they will be producing what? Only electric field. If you consider the moving charges, already we know moving charges will be producing the magnetic field, but the fundamental property of the whatever the charge is, either stationary charge or moving charge, it must be producing the electric field. That's why when you consider the moving charges, these moving charges are producing both magnetic field as well as electric field. So from here, from this point what we have to understood, whenever you consider the magnetic field, which is produced by the moving charges, simultaneously there also electric field will be acting. That point we have to remember. Once again, what we are actually speaking here, we are speaking strictly about the magnetic field only, but how the magnetic field is produced? The magnetic field is produced by the moving charges, but the property of the charge is what? The property of the charge is it must produces the electric field also. That means whenever you consider the magnetic field which is produced by the moving charges, in addition to the magnetic field, electric field is also acting simultaneously. Now I am assuming that a charged particle having the charge q, is entered into the region where both electric field magnetic field are present. So what I consider here, a charged particle having a charge small q was considered, and this charged particle will be entered into the region. Entered means it is moving with some velocity. This moving charged particle is entered into the region. In that region, who are present there? Electric field is present as well as the magnetic field is also present. Again, go to the basics. Whenever any one of the charges are present in the electric field, this electric field will be exerting some electrostatic force. That electrostatic force is given by F electrostatic force is equal to what? E bar into Q. F electrostatic force is equal to what? E bar into Q. So Q is the charge which was entered into the electric field. By the electric field, the force acting on the charged particle is given by F bar is equal to what? E bar into Q. Simultaneously, in addition to the electric field, which field is also present there? Magnetic field is also present. So whenever a moving charge was entered, into the magnetic field, previously discussed, the magnetic field is also exerting some external force over the charged particle. So the force due to the magnetic field, is given by, so what is the formula for the force due to the magnetic field? F magnetic is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. That means whatever the charged particle was entered into the both the fields, it experiences force due to the electric field as well as force due to the magnetic field simultaneously. Force due to the electric field as well as force due to the magnetic field simultaneously. That means over the given charged particle, at a given instant of time, two fields are acting simultaneously. As well as two forces are also acting simultaneously. So to get the resultant force acting on the charged particle, F resultant is equal to, how can we write? F electric plus F magnetic. F resultant is equal to what? F electric plus F magnetic. What is the F electric? F electric will be given by E bar into Q. F electric is equal to what? E bar into Q, and F magnetic is equal to what? Q into V bar across B bar. Q into V bar across B bar. This is for what? Resultant force acting on the charged particle by both electric field as well as magnetic field. That resultant force is nothing but Lorentz force. That resultant force is nothing but what? Lorentz force. Now how can we define the Lorentz force? Lorentz force is the resultant of both the forces by the electric field as well as the magnetic field. Such type of force we are calling as a what? Lorentz force. For the F Lorentz force formula is E bar into Q plus Q into V bar across B bar. So this is the expression for Lorentz force. Okay, thank you.